Guys, good morning. It's Daryl here. It is 4 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. As you see, I got a haircut yesterday. Let me tell you about my visit to the barber. It was a little uncomfortable when I first got there. I got there and there was a guy about my age, bushy hair. Never seen him before, kind of big guy in the chair, and my usual barber, who I usually get along good with. He's my age too. We share a lot in common, and I get along usually good with him. I took a seat, sat down, and waited my turn. They were watching TV. I was looking over I was looking over YouTube here, sitting over in the corner, and I could hear them talking. And they started talking a little lower, so my ears perked up just to hear what they were saying as I was looking down at my phone. And I hear him talking about goddamn California. I wish it would just slide into the ocean. So, of course, right off the bat, I could kind of figure where they're going with this. Sure enough. Yeah, and all those movie stars, too. All right. And then they go on to say, I hear, I used to like Robert De Niro, but he's a fucking asshole now. Yeah, so I gotta try not to laugh because I'm like these guys would. I can imagine if De Niro ever walked in this barber shop, they'd be kissing his ass. But anyway, so I keep listening, and I heard him talk about a school dance, a Valentine's school dance. And I had no idea what they're talking about. I thought they had switched to another subject. I realize now because I just watched Bo's video and I've looked over a few other stories. I had not known about this story about a Utah school that there was a dispute. A girl was a little girl's mother complained that the school kind of forced their daughter to dance with any boy who asked her. That we don't. The principal told her that we don't say no here. If a boy asks her, she should say yes, and which is not cool. It's that male privilege thing. And I didn't know what they were talking about. Then they changed subject and they started talking about the girl that worked in the cupcake shop next door. And I'm pretty sure this girl's in college, or I don't even want to know how she's barely 20, and these guys are my age. And now I'm just getting disgusted. And I hear him talking in lower terms. Now I kind of stick out. I don't know if they realize that I'm a liberal right off the bat. The way I'm dressed and everything, I don't fit in with the rest of with them. The way I look. I'm an artist in town. My background kind of gives me a liberal look. And they talked in lower hushes, so I couldn't hear what they were saying. I felt uncomfortable at a point. I found it amusing at first, but I felt uncomfortable at a point. Now, here's the funny part. Once I got in the chair, the guy, my barber, must have known that that's not my political choice, and he made a joke about the man that just left. That he was talking to uh, the Trump supporter that just left, and I kind of laughed. I realized that my barber, he's a businessman, and he's got to be kind of a chameleon. It was the guy in the chair that was mostly saying these comments. My barber was more or less just agreeing and throwing. He was throwing in some. He was more or less egging him on. But I realized after the guy left that being a businessman too, I think you have to be somewhat of a chameleon. As far as my art goes, I'm not very good at doing that. I pretty much won't even sell to Trump supporters, so that kind of limits my art sales sometimes. But I just, man, it is what it is, and I feel the way I feel, and if that slows down my art sales, then so be it. I have other forms of revenue, so I'm not that concerned about it. I don't think that many Trump supporters are that into the arts. Let's just say anyway. But I just wanted to relate this little story to you that as I was sitting in the barber shop yesterday, um, the guy that was in the chair is a co-owner. I found out of a new local pizza shop here that was supposed to be. I wanted to go in there, and I heard the pizza is delicious, and I heard it was good. My family has been talking about it, and it kind of figures my family's Trump supporters too. But you know what? Now I have no intention of going in there. I'll do without that pizza. So it's interesting. It just makes me think. As far as being a business owner, it's a very fine line you have to walk. I'd imagine, especially in these days when there's such a divide in politics that people there's 50 there's probably a good 50% of this town that are Trump supporters or more now. It used to be much more Democrat, but I can't say that anymore. So I can imagine that the best thing for local businesses, it must be hard because when you get somebody like that comes in that just feels the need to keep bringing up the subject, and with the TV especially, turn to the news right in front of you. It must be a little hard for that business owner, meaning my barber, to walk that line, and not because he wants the guy in the chair to keep coming back. He wants me to keep coming back. I've been going there for years, so it's a delicate line, a delicate balance, I must imagine. It's just one more example of the division now in the country as far as politics and Donald Trump is concerned. That I imagine it affects businesses, and it affects what affects businesses too is how the business owner portrays themselves. Like I said, the guy in the chair was looking to get feedback because I think he assumed that we're all white guys of the same age, that we're all Trump supporters, and we're not. Though this guy didn't really look to me for support. Like I said, I kind of stick out like a sore thumb in this town sometimes, but I'm pretty happy with that. Um, so that's. I just wanted to relate that little story to you. It's just another aspect of the division in the country that I hadn't thought about until yesterday when I was sitting in the barber shop. All right, you guys have a good Friday.